Good evening, folks. Freddie Vasquez. This is Based in Politics Unfiltered. Happy Monday. Let's talk about a few things. CSCA contract and the Mike Breen lawsuit, among other things. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Based in Politics Unfiltered. Happy Monday. Future. I want to talk about the CSCA contract. Mike Breen also filed a lawsuit. Not against me. Not against me. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. There was a car on fire on Central Avenue. Great. Let's take a look at that. Happy Monday, folks. I was on Central Avenue, and I saw this car on fire. I was actually making a left, and I saw this car. I'm going to mute this thing here because there was some not so nice language. Sorry. This Honda here, I'll fast forward it. I don't know what happened there, but you can see it there on fire. Sorry for the shaky. I was walking and was saying hello to someone. And I don't know, they were just about to turn the corner there on Central Avenue in Roxbury. That's right where the Chick-fil-A is going to be built. A lot of people are excited about that. I'm not hating on the Chick-fil-A. I'm just, whatever. It is what it is. I just don't like traffic. I don't like crowds. And I know that's going to cause a little bit of, traffic congestion there between the light, people coming out of the Chick-fil-A, buses at times that are coming from the schools that are there, near there. There's a fire department there. There's a police station nearby. Cops are always going through there. There's a bank that's a Citizens Bank that's going up across the street. So people going in and out of the bank, right? So it's going to be a mess, but who cares? We just have to deal with it, right? We can't do nothing about it, right? That's what they say. Good evening. How you doing? Good evening, Tiffany. I wanted to show that. Let's talk about the CSCA contract, right? I've been supporting CSCA. They still don't have a contract, and that's not okay, right? They need a contract. Jose, I will talk about Jose Alvarado in a second. Alberto Velasquez, a friend of Jose Alvarado, who's actually throwing him a fundraiser or some event for Jose Alvarado, who's running for re-election. Alberto Velasquez, the CSCA president, the guy that flew in on a helicopter after he won, has not managed to secure a contract. Is it his fault? Is it the Board of Education? Why haven't they nailed down a contract yet? And, you guys, and this is due to poor leadership. I'm just going to say it. You guys are 1,500 members strong, and that is big. You guys are a voter bloc, right? And your united front, right, could be very powerful and influential and can get more of what it is you're looking for. The teachers secured a contract very recently. I believe they got 12.5% raise on their contract. And CSCA members who work in the schools, they would like to, see a raise similar or at least match that of the teacher's contract, right? I mean, they work just as hard. They deal with many of the same things, if not all of the same, issues that the teachers, assistant teachers may deal with at times. Sure, they don't, do maybe some, evaluations or the paperwork or, the curriculum stuff, but they do assist in a lot of that. A lot of them are the, custodians. They make sure that the buildings are running, right? They're the backbone of the school district. Although I got to be fair. Because some people have mentioned this. Not all schools are fortunate enough, right? And this comes from a few people actually who work in schools, teachers, in fact. Not all schools have the best custodians, right? Some people don't do the best of jobs when they're cleaning up, but then there are others who do an amazing job. So, those people should be rewarded, right? Those are the people that should be moving up as supervisors. There are teachers that also say, man, such and such is a great, custodian. I'm glad that I got him and he's in our building, so there are many like that, many buildings. So I'm not saying that's the general consensus, but I do be fair. But we do need a contract for them because they are working hard and they deserve it, and they should not be used as leverage, as pawns in any political matters at all. And, we've seen this here in the city of Yonkers, unfortunately, where union heads tend to get involved politically, which it shouldn't be the case, right? They should stay away from all political events. And Alberto Velasquez, and to be fair also to him, he's not the only one, they are oftentimes seen at political events, and you know how politics works. And that's just anywhere in the United States. Politics is dirty, and, people are out, for themselves many times, and that influences however your union heads will, lead you guys in deciding what they do. Will they be a good president, or will they be a lame duck president, right? Or will they fight for the union members, or will they, work in favor of the Board of Education or the administration, and I've been in a union in a school district before, not the Yonkers Public School District, and I was probably in the union that would be equal to that of CSEA. And so I understand what it's like to not get the same contract, not get the same numbers, to have to stay longer. Your contract you guys have to stay there and close down the buildings. The teachers could be out as soon as the last bell rings. They're leaving with the students, you know what I mean? And that used to frustrate me, because I'm like, that's not fair. Why we have to sit around here and wait even after the students were gone? And so I understand that, and this is why I support it. This is not for me any, other reason to promote myself or the page, but again, it's to help and support the people of the city of Yonkers, specifically the CSEA members in this case, right? And this is what basement politics is all about. So let's keep pushing. You guys are 15 members strong, and your votes will make an impact, right? If you guys can band together, aside from what your president may tell you, right? You don't have to go with what Alberto Velasquez or any one of your presidents tell you. You guys are free to choose and vote on your own. This is a democracy, and that's your right, and that's your freedom. And there should be no retaliation or, any other issues or consequences that should come with that. And if that does happen, and that is the case, then it should be known and made public, and it needs to be, addressed. Right. So you guys, again, are 1,500 members strong. They need a contract. I don't know what you're doing there, Alberto. And, listen, you brag a lot, times puffing on a cigar, sipping on a Corolla with your friends, including Jose Alvarado, a county legislator for District 17, right, who should be helping you fight for your members. You guys hang out in backyards with your chancletas on and cigars. You know what I mean? Go on vacations and all that. Meanwhile, your members are still waiting for a contract. They would love for that retro check to hit before Christmas. I'm sure they would. Okay. So maybe the Board of Education could really get on it. I know there's a new superintendent, Dr. Rodriguez, who I hear is a good guy, right? He's a, fair man. And I'm going to be positive here. And he can help push this along sooner than later. And maybe that percentage could really make a difference, because another issue is the medical. They're increasing the cost of their medical. So they're giving them a small percentage increase, but at the same time, they're increasing the cost of their medical benefits, which then offsets their increase, their pay raise. So what's the point, right? So, that has to be changed. That has to be renegotiated. They have to at least feel the effect of the increase, right? It shouldn't then be deducted for their medical benefits, So you guys got to really work that out and understand how important they are and how strong you guys can be if you're united. 1,500 members strong, the largest union here in the city of Yonkers. Your vote matters. This November, we have elections, and it's time for some change, right? If you're not getting what you have been getting, if you've seen how things have been for the past 4-8 years, or if not longer, then you cannot continue to vote the same. And anyone telling you to do so obviously does not have your best interests at heart. So understand that. It's time for change. 1,500 members strong. You guys can make a difference. This is the year that the people speak out a little more and are no longer afraid, and we demand what it is that we want, and that's fair, and that what we deserve. Okay, this is for us folks. So I hope that the Board of Education can really step it up there, fight for CSEA members. They can increase the pay by offering another step raise, which can offset the increase in the medical. So there are ways to figure this out. I'm sure will, and I'm sure that they can do this if they really wanted to, right? They work magic with other contracts. So let's do this. Me and my family is targeted by Westchester County CPS and lawyers. Well, unfortunately, I would believe you, because I've heard this from many people, and county CPS and their lawyers. And maybe if you want, you can, message me a little bit more of your details about your situation there, and we can talk afterward, or maybe at some point tomorrow. But I'm sorry to hear that. That's definitely something that a lot of people who support Watch Basement Politics, people that I know, friends, that I've met along the way, have had issues with, including myself. So I completely understand how horrible that can be, and how stressful, how much anxiety that can cause, and how detrimental that can be to one's emotions. No, absolutely. No, I appreciate it. So just reach out to me, or politicwithfred@gmail.com. That's my email there. Folks, I wanted to talk about that. Also, really quick, Mike Breen, pardon me. Did you know, I just found out about this, and I don't know, people said that he actually, spoke about this publicly. I think he did like press release on his website or on his Facebook page. Mike Breen, the councilman, for the 5th District, filed a lawsuit against the Ramada Inn, the one on Tuckahoe Road that's housing migrants currently. Migrants who have been there longer than 30 days, which is in violation of the city building codes or whatever, right? If it had been you or I, like if you had a banner up, a temporary banner, they would come give you a violation. Why hasn't the Ramada received any violations? Why haven't they been shut down by now? Essentially, the Ramada has become a shelter. The people have been there now for almost a year, right? They're actually expected to be there up until at least August of next year. But that's only a 30-day stay max. You can't stay longer than 30 days there, but yet folks are staying a lot longer, right? So why isn't the building department, Sam Borelli, where's the, did you give him a violation, Sam? Are you sending the sign people and all of the electrical, Jimmy, the electrical inspector? Have you been down there? What about the 2 fire marshals that couldn't get it right that day, that came into my business, right? My small business. I'm a small business owner who employed people from the city of Yonkers, right? Who service children and families from the city of Yonkers. The big, bad, mean building department here in the city of Yonkers, led by a man who would normally have been unqualified to get the position, but his buddy, Mike Breen, the guy here that's filed a lawsuit against the Ramada, introduced legislation. This is what he thought was so important to introduce. He introduced legislation to reduce the requirement of the building department at a time when the city of Yonkers is seeing more buildings going up, more developments going up, and buildings that we have not seen here in the city of Yonkers before. Higher, taller, high rises. So we should have been increasing the requirements, maybe, right? Someone from like New York City who has experience dealing with high-rise developments. But instead, they reduced the requirement to allow Sam Borelli, the former DPW deputy commissioner, to hold the commissioner position of the building department. And so, Mike Breen, why don't you talk to your buddy? I mean, you filed the lawsuit. Maybe the building department is not doing anything because Sam Borelli doesn't know how to do his job. And that's your fault, Mike. Councilman out of the 5th District who's running for re-election, who anyone from the 5th District who's willing to run should run as a write-in candidate, because it's obvious by the results of the primary that Mike Breen is not people's favorite anymore. So, Mike, will you actually serve the Ramada? He filed the lawsuit, but he has not served the Ramada. It's been how many months now? You filed this in June. Why haven't you served the Ramada? So this was all political posturing. You see the sideshow that Yonkers politics is here? See, it's all fake. So that's Mike Breen. Will he follow through on his lawsuit, or he's just trying to look like, he's aligned with his constituents, right? Or is it just, it's all for show? It's all for show. Before I get up off here, Pagano said, we do not have the equipment to fight a high-rise building fire. Then it should not be built. The things these politicians are doing are criminal. I can't confirm that or deny that. Pagano is what the current, is he current or former fire chief? I'm sorry, I forget. The city of Yonkers. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely something that's going to be new for our firefighters. Again, they have not had experience in fighting fires in high-rise buildings. I'm sure there's different equipment and also different training that they should be receiving. And I think that they have been. I've seen them rappelling from different buildings and throughout Yonkers in the past year. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that. I've seen them in the downtown area rappelling from a parking lot on Buena Vista. I don't know if that's just normal training or maybe that's with them preparing for an event of a high-rise fire or something. I don't know. But we also have to consider the water pressure, right, and the old infrastructure, right, and the higher demand of water usage, and what impact is that going to have when you have to have water shooting up there, right? You have those long pipes or something. I'm no expert again, but there's a lot of things to consider, and we don't know if they considered them. And the way our building department has been known to operate, it would concern me. And the fact that Mr. Mike Breen, the councilman out of the 5th District, who is running for re-election this November, would introduce legislation to reduce the requirement needed to hold that position of the building department commissioner, especially at such an important time, makes zero sense, right? But the guy makes zero sense a lot of times, and so maybe it would make zero sense to re-elect him again. Right, folks, it's also would make zero sense to vote for Jose Alvarado again in the 17th district, which is why I'm supporting Jose Diaz, and I make no bones about it. You can vote for who you like. That's your choice and your freedom. But I suggest that you inform yourself if you are someone living in District 17 under Westchester County level, so county legislator. Jose Diaz is a good guy. I met him. I've known him for about a year now. I'm very passionate. Very genuine, honest guy who truly wants to go into the community and make change, a community that needs change. What community am I talking about? If you're not familiar with District 17, No Dine Hill, Nightmare on Elm Street, drugs, and all kinds of other stuff. But I've seen that they've been making an effort, maybe because we've been making a little bit more noise about it. I mean, I've had to step in and even help a small business owner, a woman business owner at her salon after some crazed guy went up in there and would not leave. Nothing has changed in that district, not even the person who represents it. So we need to vote for change there in District 17. Jose Diaz is having an event to which he invited me, and I will be attending, absolutely. God willing, si Dios quieres, I'll be there. Jose Diaz fundraising event Tuesday, October 10th. It'd be great if you can attend, show support. I know I'm going to be there and I'm a Democrat. Now, I'm wondering, will the Republicans be there? I'm sure that we'll see Moranti. I have no doubt that we'll see Anthony Moranti, who, by the way, is a great supporter of the unions. So CSEA, I've spoken to Anthony Moranti about this. That's one of the things that I asked him. He's the only actually candidate in the mayorals that has spoken to me thus far. And I've asked him about the CSA because I'm thinking about you guys often and other things as well. And I said, how do you feel about this in the contracts? And he's, very pro CSEA and pro union, and he understands how important it is to support the unions. And he also understands what's happened, recent times with the union and those who may be at the top, and how they get there, and I've spoken about that many times. So it's time for change. Jose Diaz is actually a member of CSEA 9169. He works as a custodian. He does a great job. He offered to even help me out with my school, and I appreciate that. But I'm definitely, more concerned with, Jose Diaz, becoming the change that No Dine Hill, Park Hill, parts of Getty Square, District 17 really needs, right? Sure, there's some great parts of that area. I believe that you do represent some of that part where you see some of these fabulous mansions, but then there is a section that has been in dire need for such a long, long time. I mean, even I was a victim of what happens there. My uncle was killed on Elm Street in 1991. So it hasn't changed. And I remember that very vividly, and it's just crazy. I'm thinking about that because I spoke about that when it happened to my assistant principal at the time, who now works with my wife. So that's very interesting how things come full circle. So Jose Diaz, if you're able to attend, man, we have to start supporting honest people and genuine people, right? We have to support people that truly want to make change, that truly care about the community, right? Enough greed, greed is not good, right? If you ever watch the movie Wall Street, he says greed is good. Greed is not good. I've seen greed many times. It's not good, right? And we need to think about the individuals that we vote for. We must inform ourselves. So get to know the people. I'm not saying just vote for him because I'm telling you to vote for him, or someone else may tell you to vote for him, but I'm, telling you to inform yourself and go see who Jose Diaz is if you live in District 17. It's time to support good people, not people based on party, but good people, people that are change that this city of Yonkers needs. So this November, we have an opportunity to do that in many elections throughout the city as well as the county. And I hope you folks come out and vote, because the voter turnout in the Democratic primary was very dismal. It was bad. Bad. And I know many people are just jaded. Some people are just unaware of what's going on. And then we got a bunch of new people that just don't even care. This is a bedroom community. They come here to sleep. Then they wake up. They send their kids to school. They go to work. They come back. They pick their kids up. They go home. They cook. They eat and go to sleep and repeat. And that's a problem, right? So that's just one of the many effects of having individuals who are not, rooted and committed to the community, right? Who are not invested in the community here. Many times they'll put their kids in private school or even schools down in the city, which is something my mother did when she worked in the city. I went to a Catholic school in Queens. So, we have to think about that. And those of us who are committed and rooted and invested in the city, we must come out and be heard, right? We don't want to be a dying breed, the last of the Mohegans, because it seems like we're being replaced. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. I appreciate you guys for joining me. Thank you for supporting. I'm not in your district, Jose, but you have my support in any way possible. There you go, Jose. Jose's a good guy. And again, that's what we need. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, you're an American, you're from Yonkers, you want to see change in the community. We want to see change regardless of color, age, gender, and whatever else, whatever district, whatever side of the city you want. We all want the same thing. We want good schools. We want safe communities. We want opportunities, right? We want opportunities. And so we should be voting the same. We should be united in that cause. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Have a beautiful night, folks. We're at District 3 and also up for re-election. Shout out to the city councilwomen who will be joining a local school here in a program that I think is great. And I have to say the good with the bad. I have to be fair. So some of our city council members, our female council members, are going to take a girls group. They're going to discuss, civics, politics and stuff like that. And maybe they can even take a trip right over to City Hall. That's awesome. That's great. That's what we want to see. And if we see more of that, then that's what I'll talk about all day. It's just that simple, folks. Do good, you get good.